Cheers.
Welcome to another episode of Marlon vs. Marlon. I'm your boy Marlon.
I'm your boy Marlon.
Join us as two childhood friends go back and forth, argue, fight, debate, and sometimes maybe even agree on everything from sports, pop culture, and everything in between.
All right, so we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
Oh, we right here. We live. We right here. We are right here. Live and direct.
Yeah, so obviously there was a game yesterday. So we'll
They made its way to
if we
extra
have
day for
time, if we have time, we'll talk about that. But there's so much other stuff, so much other great topics, if you will, going on in the sports world that if we have some time, we will talk about the Chargers and the Cowboys. So we're gonna start off with some MLB. You wanna start off with MLB? You wanna start off with
Sure.
WNBA?
We can
Yeah.
start off
Yes.
wherever you want to start,
And I,
as long
and,
as
and
we
I
get
and I
there.
think I just think I don't even know where to start. We're not elite. We're not a team that can pull it together when it matters most. It's a lot of penalties. We had every shot to win the game. Not kicking that field goal at the end of the third, I believe, kind of hurt because obviously we lost by 3. And ironically, all of the 3 losses that we had this year, we lost by 3. We lost totaling 8 points. So it's this is what we do, man. This is what we do. Is who we are. And truth, there's not really blame to put all on one person, one area. The O line, we're out our best O lineman, our general Corey Linsley. So that obviously hurt us a little bit. Cowboys D line looked really good. I got to give them a lot of credit. Justin Herbert's got to play better, and with he can make every throw. We know that, but we need you to be elite. And if you want to be mentioned in the upper echelon of the great quarterbacks in this league, Joe Burrows, the Rodgers, some would put Allen up there, the Burrows. You got to play better. You miss. Did I miss Mahomes? I meant to say Mahomes first. So you got to play better. So hats off to you, unfortunately, and that we had chances to win it. Defense, Derwin James getting penalty after penalty, whether it's helmet to helmet, roughing the passer. It's a tough one. This one hurts very bad. It's like a knife just in the heart. So
Wow,
yeah,
what a good
and
segment. What a good segment. Because I want to turn that knife a little bit, man. I just want to. I mean, where do we start? You know, you started somewhere, you went somewhere, but I don't even know if I really heard anything you said. I just enjoyed watching you talk about us beating you guys. Like seeing Dak outplay Justin Herbert was amazing. You know, I thought that it was really funny in the post game when a reporter asked your coach, I don't know his name, it doesn't matter, if you know Herbert's finger had anything to do with him missing some of those throws that he was missing, and his simple answer was no, that was the Cowboys.
yeah.
Micah Parsons not getting a sack until the second to last play of the game. Us not getting a turnover until the last play of the game. But just grinding out. Dak on third down was amazing. Seeing Dak move a little bit more yesterday was amazing. 18 or 19 hurries, quarterback hurries. They just played really well. We got beat a couple times on a couple of double moves. Thank goodness that Keenan Allen's older than us, because those would have probably been touchdowns a few years ago. Or if the quarterback had thrown the ball. Neither here nor there. And it just felt like, I don't know if you remember that message you put in the group chat, like after the first quarter, I think it was 7-0 still or something like that. Maybe it was still first quarter. Yeah, Marlon was scared to bet. Oh, man, I know you guys went down and drove on that first drive. It was a great drive. But then the defense really stood tall, man. For most of the game. Didn't score again
And
until a bonehead play on special teams. Didn't get in the end zone again until that 20-yard drive, whatever. That's not really on defense. So, I would say all levels of the game, but again, that was a special team. blender. So 2 out of 3 phases we played really well. Hard fought victory. You guys were a worthy opponent, uh, but we came into the trap and we took over.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, it was just like I said, Herbert's got to play better. We need to have better coaching decisions on when to go for it on fourth down and when to kick a field goal to tie it up. Um, and certain plays like that always end up biting us in the butt. And in this situation, we could have kicked that field goal, tied it up, and we probably, if everything went exactly the correct way, we would be in overtime. And it's a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas right now, but Herbert makes that pass wide open to Keenan Allen. I mean, he's still running right now if he makes that pass. So, but it all comes down, and then the defense. The defense, there's too many third downs where it's just and this is we haven't really seen Dak from what I've seen. We haven't really seen Dak look this consistent, if you will, complete as an offense. CeeDee Lamb was somebody that they needed to get in the offense more, and they did that. It was feel like second down, third down. He's open. Brandon Cooks was another one. You guys brought him in for a reason, and he was able to get that touchdown and a couple more catches. So we actually did really decent on Pollard, other than that one big play. But for the most part, just looking at it from us moving the ball on offense, from the offensive standpoint, Eckler I mean, the running game just picked up where it left off with it being bad. I think 14 carries for like 27 yards, I believe, is what he had, that's embarrassing. But as a whole, as a team, I think we only had 50 something rushing yards in general. So that was tough. But other than that first drive, there wasn't much that we did. And this was the Kellen Moore game. This was a game that he can show off to everybody. You guys were wrong for letting me go. You guys should have kept me. I got the better quarterback. I got this. I got that. So it was something that we could have taken advantage. There were so many other options, so many other opportunities for us to do it. But defensively, I mean, once again, your D line, Herbert was running. Only one sack, but Herbert was running a lot for his life, getting hurried in their face, and then that last second pick. I mean, it is what it is on that point.
Yeah, I want to mention that too.
It's a lot to unpack, but
You guys had 5 or 6 sacks, and we only had 1 sack. But I think part of that was what you mentioned earlier, speaking about Dak. And I did want to mention that. Like, sometimes it's all right to take the sack because that's where he throws his picks when he's trying to avoid the sacks. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And being able to live to fight another down last night, like he did on many occasions, where maybe he could have got rid of the ball, but it could have been a horrific ending if he did. So I'm glad he did. And you mentioned CeeDee Lamb, man, seven targets, 7 catches, 117 yards. Man, I can just imagine if we gave Amari Cooper that money instead of Mike Brown. But I won't be too disappointed in that. But I mean, you talked a little bit about the mistakes. I mean, I think we made some mistakes. We could have took another shot at the end zone before the half. We went for it on the fourth down and didn't get it. We tried to push. We had Zeke still. We just run that. It's one of those areas where he's expensive, but it could help. And then there's other areas where heck, Dak missed Tony Pollard in the end zone for an open touchdown in there before we get that go ahead field, on that game winning drive, that go ahead field goal. So I think there were areas, and let's not talk about penalties because there was definitely that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just a heck of a ball game by a heck of a team fighting back after getting embarrassed last week.
And that was the thing too. I wasn't confident going into the game. Yeah, we got Eckler coming back with the game that we just won 2 games in a row. Seeing how the Cowboys, the product they put out there against San Francisco, it was embarrassing. But they were going to be ready. They were going to come pissed off and ready to at least make a statement. And but it just, you guys are more physical up front, and that's what disrupted everything. But Herbert is the second highest paid player in the league. You have to start playing like him. You have to put the team on your back and say, look, I'm about to be like Brady, or I'm about to be like Manning or Mahomes, and just take over a game. And
Hey,
we really haven't seen that all year. And even going back into last year, we haven't really seen much of that too as well, going, into the playoffs and everything. But it's we overall as a team. I mean, and then also too on the offensive side. Yeah, we know Keenan Allen, Mr. Consistent. He's there. He's going to get his targets. He's going to get his catches, as will Josh Palmer and Everett. Our first round draft pick, Quentin Johnson, has been MIA. And one would think, with Mike Williams being out, the big target that he is, this is his time to shine in this offense. And only 2 targets last night. I'm not sure what we're going to do now. As far as with us drafting him, we knew either Keenan Allen or Mike Williams, one of those two will not be on the team next year unless one of them takes a massive pay cut. But that's why we drafted Quentin Johnston. And that's why we drafted number 45, who bit on Tony Pollard when Dak ran for that 18-yard touchdown. But that guy's got to step up. We need a lot more from him on the offensive side. I'm not sure if that chemistry is not there or not clicking, but you're a first-round draft pick. You got to get it together. You got to figure it out. But yeah, man, I mean, like I said, more physical. It was a tough loss for sure. But this is who we are. This is the team that, unfortunately, we lose these tight games. When we're supposed to punt, we go for it. When we're supposed to kick a field goal, we go for it. When it's our coach doesn't know, left from right from wrong. He doesn't know. Sometimes I feel like what he's doing. So he's just out there playing Madden, I feel like. But yeah, man, this one hurts. And to top it all off, we got the Chiefs next week. So, man, when it rains, it pours.
hey man, well, I feel bad for Austin Eckler. His first game back in a couple games, he got punched in the mouth right before the game started. He looked like he might have been concussed before the game started.
Oh yeah, that was oof.
But
And he was just
but
trying to stop it.
hey, innocent bystander, get out the way, you little fella. But
Yeah.
even if your second highest paid player in the league plays like that, gets 50 more yards, you guys at least have a shot at over. So
Yeah.
it just felt really good, man. I was looking for you last night just to give you a hug, console you, make sure you were okay. I know you were not home, so I wanted to make sure you made it home okay. But seeing you today, I'm glad you're good. It's like you're home, so I'm glad. I'm glad everything's okay. I'm glad you're good, and I'm glad we ain't gonna play out for another 2-3 years. Ooh. Cheers to the Cowboys.
Are we
And being
done?
two
Can I
games
go to
over
bed now?
500. Hey
Can I go to
man,
bed now?
hey, if you wanna end it there, I was gonna talk about your liberty, but we don't have to, man. I'm satisfied with this episode. I like the short
I
and
know.
kind.
All right. So looking at there was some other 2 losses that we had for 2 of the top teams. San Francisco, they got some stuff they got to figure out. I don't know how long Christian McCaffrey is going to be out, so that one hurt. Also, too, with Debo is out with his shoulder, so that was. But now Cleveland's a team. They obviously offensively, no Nick Chubb, Cooper's Cooper, Mr. Consistent, but their defenses, they're one of the best defense, if not the best defense in the league. And Miles Garrett and everybody, they came to play and they did what they had to do. And it was obviously Brock Purdy he had an okay game, but you can't expect without McCaffrey, without Debo, he's not the type of quarterback that's just going to take over a game
Oh, but
and
he's
come back and
undefeated in
win
the
that
reg.
in that atmosphere.
He's
Nobody,
undefeated in
but
the
nobody,
regular
but
season,
nobody,
and he's this and he's that.
nobody says he's elite.
I mean,
I don't think
don't
anybody
don't
said
tell
he was elite
don't
or
tell
anything.
don't tell Fox Sports or ESPN that they're touting him like he was the next greatest hope. And we're not gonna give him a pass, right? We didn't get him a pass last year in the playoffs when that happened and everybody got hurt because the the Browns do have a good defense, right? But so do the 49ers.
Yep,
Don't the 49ers have one of the top defenses in the league too?
they do.
And
They do.
I'm gonna and who started at quarterback for the Browns?
PJ Walker.
PJ Mask? Who? So that's all I'm saying. But this was another reason I had a great Sunday, great Monday combo, great weekend of football, because the Eagles, oh fly Eagles fly, the Eagles. Didn't she sneak an Eagles fan on here a couple weeks ago on me? I wish she was here today. Who did they lose to? Was it Zach
They lost to
Wilson?
New York Football Jets. Yeah, now that's another team. Now you can obviously look back at week 2. I feel like they were a little depleted. Obviously, you don't have Rodgers. You're trying to figure out everything. But this one, tough environment with the Jets. They've never beat the Jets before. Or Jets never beat them before. So it was a game. I think with Jalen didn't have a horrible game either. Well, no, I take that back. He had 3 picks in the first half, I believe.
Yeah, he
So
had a
yeah,
horrible game. He
yeah.
definitely had a horrible
G-
game.
he's 7 for 7, 7 touchdowns, 7 picks on the year. That's pretty
I,
bad.
you know
But
what?
I'm
You know what's crazy?
that's
If that
that's
was if that was
that's
Dak,
really
that would be if that was Dak, that would be leading every sports talk show of the week.
That's really bad. He's averaging a pick a game, and he didn't have one against Washington, which they ended up going to overtime against Washington. But he had 28 for 45, 280 passing yards. I think he had that Russian touchdown, and then he had he threw one. I want to say I'm not sure if it was AJ Brown or not. I'm pretty sure it may have been, but yeah, that was. But that's another team that has a decent defense too. So I got to give, but I want to give the Jets a lot of credit. Seems like they're turning it around. And by the way, staying on that game, it's very impressive to see Aaron Rodgers out there throwing, and not even on crutches, standing up on the sideline most of the game. You and I both tore, our Achilles, and I tore mine in May, and then had surgery in May, and I got married in August, and I was limping, barely walking down the aisle. So obviously, I'm not rehabbing 24/7 like he is, but I just think that's very impressive to see where he's at now. I don't think he's coming back week 12, but I think it's very impressive
If
with
if
his
Aaron
for 5 weeks out.
if Aaron Rodgers plays football this year and he passes every drug test, it's complete and utter. It's bro.
Yeah.
There's no way humanly possible. Kobe couldn't even do it, and you're not gonna tell me
Mm.
Aaron Rodgers works out harder than Kobe at age 41 or 42, however old he is. It's impossible.
He'll be 40 in December. Yeah,
Oh, 40,
that's.
whatever his big age. He's not recovering normally.
Mhm.
I'm not saying he can't be taking something that might be illegal or something that hasn't passed all the codes that it needs to pass in America. But if
Mhm.
he's back, that's wild.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that before for him. And I counted 5 weeks. He tore it in week 1, had surgery that Wednesday or Thursday. And he's just up and moving around. Of course, he's got a little limp, but he hiked up on painkillers or something because the cameras are going to be out there. So
Yeah,
he's a very calculated individual. So if you're gonna be out there throwing the ball, the camera's gonna be on you 24/7. But to think that he's gonna be back in 6 weeks, I think is ridiculous. But if I see any videos of him jogging within the next like couple weeks, you on that good stuff.
that's what I'm saying, bro. Hey, just to close out this game, Jalen Hurts had one touchdown. It was to Swift pass. The rushing
Oh yeah, I
fumble,
remember that right over the
the
middle.
rush, yeah, and the rushing touchdown, he actually fumbled and it was recovered in the end zone by all.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that was
They said
one
he
too.
didn't
Other than
fumble.
that,
He got reviewed. He got one of the rushing touchdowns.
yeah,
AJ Brown though, 9 for 7 catches for 131. But he's still a beast. And they just added
AJ's when
Julio
he not.
Jones.
Well, what's crazy? I try to pick him up in fantasy and he's not there, which is weird. So I don't know if they're gonna put him in there tomorrow, but it's very random. It's just we're talking about him. I try to go and get him. Like he's not even if you search for him, you can't even find him,
It is
which is
weird.
crazy. So I don't know. But yeah, so some other games. Baltimore takes care of business over in London. I believe that's the last London game that we have of the 3.
There's one more though over there too. It's just not in London. It's
There's
Germany.
two more. It's in Germany. Munich. It's two more over there next month. Um, yeah, some other. Let me see. What's some other decent games that we had? Patriots are still the Patriots. We don't care about that. We definitely don't care about the Cardinals and the Rams. Detroit. Detroit is they're taking care of business at whether it's at home or it's away. That this is going to be a sneak, and we got Detroit down the road too. I think some point next month, which I don't even want to think about that game, but they're another good team too. So the NFC is actually pretty top heavy. Looking at Philly, obviously you guys, San Francisco, Detroit. There there's some top heavy teams, but then from there, all the other teams are just average. You got Minnesota or below average. Minnesota, Seattle, the Bears, Carolina, New Orleans, the all the other teams in the NFC West that are all average. So it's pretty crazy how the Giants. It's top heavy in the NFC, which is going to be a good finish when it comes down to playoff time.
Shout out to Minnesota. I got a lot of I got a lot of hate on my comments last week um, about bro not coming back, Justin Jefferson. They had a hard
Yeah.
fought win, and it was ugly though. It was like a battle of two terrible teams. But shout out to y'all for getting a win. I
And I
thought y'all
mean,
would only have
and what's
3 weeks
crazy
to prove it.
too is, and shoot, Fields, I believe, didn't he? He ended up getting hurt. Was it a concussion that he had? So I mean, barely winning with a Justin Fields. I don't know how much he played, but yeah, I don't think that's impressive. And you know, it's crazy too. We play the Bears next Sunday night, so just wait for us to blow it as I'm talking crap about the Vikings. Um, all right, so let's go ahead and do.
Yeah,
Um,
Tyson
yeah,
that get had 14 attempts,
yeah,
so
yeah. So I think he went out
they'll
like a first half or something. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my power rankings. I'm not sure if you did yours. I'm gonna just go run through mine real quick. I do have Kansas City at the number one spot. San Francisco, if I would have did one last week, San Francisco would have for sure been number one. I will have San Francisco at number two. Miami, I got them at number three, and which is crazy because the Tua Herbert conversation is a little more real now with the way that Tua's been playing. So, which is very unfortunate. Go ahead, you about to say something?
yeah, that's scary. I don't I don't think any of us
Yeah,
thought that Tua
yeah,
and uh, Herbert would really be
but
the comparison.
but it's a real conversation now because when you look at Herbert and his inconsistency, and when you look at what Tua, I hate to say this, but Tua would have made that. He would have made that throw to
I,
a
I'll,
wide open Keenan Allen.
I'll also say this though:
So
we can't compare the weapons that each are playing with, so that's a little unfair to Herbert.
yeah, yeah. So but in the same draft class, they'll always will be compared. And like I said too, if he finishes out the season, he's going to be the highest paid player in the league at one point. Um, so Kansas City, San Francisco, Miami, Philly at number four, Detroit at number five, Buffalo at six, Dallas at seven, Baltimore at eight, Cleveland nine, Jacksonville I have at 10. I
Can
feel
you read
like I
the
do
top?
have Dallas a little high. Go ahead.
I was going to ask, could you read the top 4 again? I think I know it. I think it's
Yes.
Cleveland.
KC, San Francisco, Miami, Philly.
And then there was number 5 was Detroit.
Detroit, Buffalo, and I got Dallas in there, which even though they've been a little shaky, I still got Dallas up there. But I trust Dallas more than I trust Baltimore. And with Lamar, it's I want the Ravens to do good. I want them to be consistent and go far. They have the team to do it. Lamar is, and I got a lot of crap too for, I don't want to say bashing Lamar, but
Telling the truth about
is
him.
it, it's, as you always say, the eye test. When I see him, when I see some of his throws, a quarterback like Lamar, like Jalen Hurts has a better arm than Lamar. Like we can all agree on that. But with
Barely.
Lamar, I'd put Jalen Hurts. He's a notch above Lamar. I know, it's Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts is a better thrower. than Lamar. But with Lamar, and I know you don't want to get hit and banged up all the time, but when they run and he's that dual threat, your offense, there's no limitations to your offense. But when you try to make him a pocket passer, that's when you're going to start losing some games. But I do trust Dallas more than I trust Baltimore. And then I got Cleveland and then Jacksonville.
But you trust the Lions more than you trust the Cowboys, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. 100%. The Lions' only loss was to the no, they beat the Chiefs week 1, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
go ahead and say who
they
their
beat the Chiefs. Let
go
me
ahead and tell
see.
us who their only losses to.
I gotta go find it. Seattle, which it's always a tough game whenever you play up to 31-37. What it was a high scoring game, but still taking care of business when you beat the defending champs. Obviously no Kelsey, but you still did that. Take care of business at Green Bay, uh, Carolina, and the Bucks. Now this is where your schedule starts to get tough because you're at Baltimore coming up this weekend, so that'll be a nice one. Then you got the Raiders, then you're at the Chargers, so that's a good home game for them. Uh, and then you got Bears, Green Bay, Saints. So their schedule's a little, and then they play you guys December 30th. So if they just keep taking care of business and doing what they're doing, they're gonna make some noise in the playoffs.
No, I just wanted to make sure I had that right because I know we played it. So
Yeah. So
that's
you want
not
to
a
give your
that's a team.
5 or
Um, I, I can get my top 5.
cool?
The Chiefs are in there, Bills are in there, Cowboys are probably 5, 6.
Oh wow, you put yourself wait
So I said
over San
we're probably
Francisco.
number. So we're probably number 5 or 6. You had us at 7.
All right.
I just think we're better than the Lions. That's all.
Okay. All right. I got you. All right. So a couple other things before we get out of here.
And maybe the Bills.
Yeah, the Bills are they're another. Somebody said that the Chargers are almost like the AFC version of Dallas.
Except for not as good.
Partially as I look at that, like I don't look at it. It's more firepower. You got firepower all over. You have big names, offense and defense. It's you lose some games that you should win, and when it matters most, you wet the bed. So from that standpoint, I agree, but um, I don't know if when either of these two teams will get over the hump. Because and truthfully, you guys didn't look perfect either, and you're not. I'm not saying that you said that you guys, but you guys did what you had to do to get the ball or get the job done. And Dak played his best game of the year. He didn't turn the ball over. He didn't do too much. Um, he had the game that you guys know he can play. And against a soft defense like us, you better take care of business because we're not stopping anybody. You can really do whatever you want. Like I said too with Pollard, I think we had other than that one long run, we had a decent time containing Pollard.
And that was off of a scramble. That was a pass play, actually. That wasn't even
I
good.
know. Just, but we can't tackle. We're a mess. Anyways, all right. So now on to I think it was a couple games ago. Altuve not re-tagging second base.
That's Little League.
Yeah, I mean they teach you that. I mean I didn't play baseball in years, but you always got to tag. So I thought that was crazy. But what's something seeing how far the Rangers are going? It's if they mess around and they win tomorrow, then they're on to the World Series, or they need to win 2 more.
I think it's 2 more. I know they won 2 in Houston.
Yeah. So
And I
then
think
they're
they're
out here
coming back
tomorrow.
yeah.
If they end up taking care of business, I think they get like a week and a half off before the World Series, which is crazy.
Which could be a gift or a curse because
Yeah. Yeah.
all the teams that had that week off in this last round all lost. So it might not be the best idea. But
Yeah.
I mean, you don't ever want to give up games either. So please don't take that from what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
Yep. So it's impressive what they're doing. And I think that the last time the Rangers was it 2011. I think that they made it this far. I'm not sure if they made it to the World Series, but definitely impressive with what they're doing. And I think Philly's up right now. So you think Philly's gonna take care of business in the National League?
Yeah, I do. I do. I mentioned whoever beats the Braves, I think deserves to win the championship, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the team to do it. So that's kind of who I'm seeing. I would love to see come to Dallas, Arlington, whatever you want to call it. But
Right, right.
Phillies ain't nothing to play with.
Yeah, yeah. So all right, so we will see what happens with that. Philly's playing right now, and then the Rangers they actually do play tomorrow. So um, Dame actually had his debut with the Bucks, which they I think they're gonna be all right. It's obviously chemistry and all that stuff will have to come into play, but with them two working and feeding off of each other, um, it could be some nice chemistry between them.
Yeah, I think Giannis will have to take a bigger leap than Dame, because there will be a little bit more in the half court. But we'll see. We'll see. They got a nice roster, that's for sure. So
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
absolutely. Yeah. So I believe a couple weeks. So next week we will do our NBA episode where we'll talk into some of what happened week 7, but it's going to be predominantly NBA. We'll have a bunch of guests on and everything too as well. So we'll get into that. Um, what does this loss mean for USC? I mean, 3 picks in the first half for Caleb, which is one of the worst games I believe that he had in his career. But what does this loss mean for them? I mean, are they? I believe what were they ranked? 10 or 11? I believe going
Yeah,
into the game. So that was a that was a tough one to watch.
it was. It was, but everybody has those games, man. Well, you just hope to pull them out. I think it hurts him more than it hurts SC. I don't know if SC was gonna make a national
Mm-hmm.
championship like to the playoffs anyway. Um,
Yeah,
but it hurts his Heisman hopes. But I mean, he's already talking about coming back next year anyway. So look, it doesn't hurt the
yeah.
NIL money. It doesn't hurt any of that. It just hurts the possible back-to-back Heisman, especially when you got
And I root for
Penix
the
up in Washington that just beat Oregon. So
yeah, yeah. Which I was getting ready to get into that one, but I always root for the Notre Dame Marcus. I forget his last name. Um, but I mean Notre Dame's this was a game I think because they lost. I believe who did they lose to?
was it
Because
Louisville?
Notre Dame had a I think yeah, because Notre Dame had 2 bad losses. Um, so yeah, so it's good to see them bounce back in a major way, winning by dang near 30. Um, but yeah, as you said, Washington game that was definitely a back and forth game, a missed field goal to take it into overtime with Washington and Oregon, so that was a good one. Um, and Colorado, I mean, Jesus, um, it's like when it rains it pours, and you lose your star player. You got your son doing this to the crowd and all that stuff, door, and it's to be up 29-0. Now it's getting to the point to where, as outside looking in, do you have what it takes? Which I'm sure he does, but do you have what it takes when they see some of your season just kind of going up and down like that? At one point being ranked number 17 and then dropping out when you're getting smacked by some of these other teams. Granted, without one of your best players, but is this going to be enough to pull kids over to want to transfer over to Colorado?
The answer to that is yes, for a couple of reasons. I don't know if you've ever paid attention, but Colorado is on TV almost every week out of the season right now.
Always a
Um,
game of the week. Yep.
I think they only had one game where you had to stream it like on YouTube TV or something like that, or on YouTube. But
Mm-hmm.
they're
Yep.
going to get national notoriety because of Coach T. He's going to be in the press. He's going to get the coverage. And if anything else, like this is just a selling point for him to get the transfer. You're
Mm-hmm.
what you're what we need. Um, the one thing I will say is I think this is kind of the first time that Dion has been in a position where the talent that he has doesn't match up. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was playing down at Trinity Christian here in Dallas, Truth, his own program, like he had the ability to get players that were probably better than what he was playing against. I mean, Trinity was one of the smaller schools, a Christian school, right? So when you get
TCU,
to
yeah.
Jackson State, now you have the best of the best. You're getting D1 level players to come play at a SWAC school, at a HBCU. So you're getting the better
Mm-hmm.
players, the best of the best. But now you're at the lower portion of your conference. You know what I'm saying? So you're looking up at USC, you're looking up at Oregon, you're looking up at Washington, probably Utah too. I think they got Utah coming up. So um, I just think it'll be interesting to see, over the next year or two. I know Shador maybe has one more year. Uh, the next year or two, if they can kind of take that leap. I didn't really think that they had a
Mm-hmm.
chance to make a run this year. I know, some people were sold on it, but I think in the next 2-3 years, you kind of see, and 3 years, if you get somebody that can come after Shador with that same um, swagger, that same game, and
Mm-hmm.
pick up where he leaves it off.
Yeah. Yeah. So, looking at Colorado State, that was a back and forth game, and then after that, that's when it kind of really went down from there. And of course, Hunter was out, but losing 35 points to Oregon, then USC going back and forth. I think this really says more about USC and the defense or the lack thereof as far as with USC, and then we've seen that obviously with Notre Dame putting up 48 points on them. And then you got, unranked Arizona State and then Stanford, which is what we had on Friday with being up 29-0 and then still losing that game at halftime, by the way, which is, yeah. So
You're
definitely
not even
hoping,
supposed
rooting for them. But yeah,
you're not even supposed to have enough time to come back at halftime. So that was
that's a
shades
lot
of
of points.
that's
That's
shades of
it's and
Brady and versus the Falcons in the Super Bowl.
or shades of just Chargers defense. Because I mean, it happened to us, unfortunately. So
I was, I mean, that was last year playoffs. Jacksonville,
yeah,
Travis
yep,
Etienne, and
27-0.
Sunshine.
27-0. So, all right. And then the last thing I have the Iowa playing against 50 in front of 55,000 fans. I thought that was super impressive. Pretty dope that they had a crazy turnout like that playing in a football stadium, obviously. Um, I'm definitely ready for some college basketball, especially on the women's side.
I wasn't as impressed with it just because it's Iowa. Like, what else are those 50,000 people going to be doing? Uh, like, well, we can either go.
Yeah.
It wasn't on Sunday, so they weren't at church. Like, what else were they going to do? But
Yeah.
speaking of women's college basketball coming back, Angel Reese just signed another big deal with Reebok. The first signee for um, Big Shaq and AI and their new roles over at Reebok. So shout out to her.
Mhm.
When she's not on the court, obviously she's at LSU. So when she's not on the court, she's gonna be wearing her Reebok instead of Nike. I think that's interesting. I think Haley Van Lith, who's also at LSU, is signed with Adidas.
Mhm.
So Nike got to do
Okay.
something about this, man.
I'm really, yeah. I'm real, but then Nike mess around and go after because I don't even know who Caitlin has. I don't know who our girl in UConn. I forget her name. Paige Beckers. So she probably got a Nike deal. So it's
Yeah,
I'm sure they're working on some stuff, but I mean, these other shoe companies. I mean, they got the money. So, and just like with my girl Stewie with the Pumas, so she got the Stewie 1 and Stewie 2s are out now. So, other companies, they got the money. You just got to go after and make your best pitch to some of these girls. So,
before we move on from women's college basketball, I'm going to say a name right now.
mm.
Some of you guys might be familiar with her. Some are not. Juju. Juju.
Smith
She's going to
Schuster.
be. No. Juju's going to SC next year. USC. She's a combo guard. Closest thing I've seen to Diana Taurasi. Uh, she's like a mix of Diana Taurasi and maybe Maya Moore. Like, it's crazy. But get your popcorn. She's going to put on a show. I can't wait for college.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And Season's getting ready to pick up soon, and then before you know it, holidays will be here. We're gonna have March Madness and everything. So this year is going by quick, man. It's we a
Man,
week or two away from what's up?
you trying to move past the Super Bowl, the whole college basketball season already?
Well, we talking. It's gonna go by quick. Before we know it, we're gonna look up college basketball starting, NBA starts, the in season tournament's gonna be here. It's NFL playoffs. It's just gonna go really really quick. Hockey started already, obviously, which uh we need to go to a hockey game.
No, we don't.
I won't pay for. I'll see if I can get some free tickets. I'm gonna see if anybody want to sponsor Marlon vs. Marlon, get some free tickets or something.
Hey, if you get us some free tickets, on
Yeah, I go. So, all right, and then the last thing that we have, go ahead.
say speaking of tickets, I'm going to see Travis Scott tomorrow. So,
You gonna be down in the pit?
you know, they're in a booth. But we'll talk about that another time.
Oh, in a booth.
Yeah.
In a booth. Oh, I surprisingly his tickets were pretty cheap. I thought that it
Well,
was.
they come with a little liability risk there, so you can,
I'm telling you, if you're in the pit, I promise you're gonna have to sign some sort of a NDA or something saying that look, if you mess around and you die, or if you get hurt in any way, you can't come after me. I guarantee you. When you get your ticket from Ticketmaster, I'm sure you have to sign something. I can almost guarantee you that. And I know because he did his very first show since the Astro World was Rolling Loud in LA. That was his very first show. And I guarantee you he had some people signed. Then he went to Miami. Then he went, I believe it was somewhere in Europe and had a big concert. But you better believe with the millions that he lost, he ain't trying to lose no more coins. So
listen, that was my first question. So when you say Travis Scott show, what were you thinking about sitting?
mm-hmm.
Oh,
Which I'm actually one of my other buddies is going tonight, so he got two shows, so no, it should be pretty dope. So WNBA Finals are going on right now, and it's Liberty bounced back in a huge way. However, on the game tomorrow, Chelsea Gray's gonna be out. She had some sort of a pop in her foot, so she's out. I don't think she's gonna come back and play. I think it's serious. I think it's on the level of when LeBron messed up his foot and he said he heard a pop. So I think it's something along the lines of that. And I don't know if it's going to require surgery, but that's going to be huge for them. She's a facilitator. She runs that team. Going back to last year, she was with what she did last year in the finals was incredible. So this is going to be a huge blow to them, and I'm not sure. There's nobody on that team that can do what she can do. But Kelsey Plum, Asia, they're all gonna have to step up. But that's tough. You never want it to be like that. You want to beat your people fair and square, your opponents, but it's not a good. Doesn't look good.
well, honestly, truthfully, you just want to win. Like let everybody else talk about who was on the floor, who wasn't on the floor. But I'm looking over here right now because I got my iPad set up right here, and I'm trying to get into my betting app as soon as I can because I'm betting the house on Liberty for game 4. Now that my insider told me that Chelsea Gray isn't playing,
Yep.
that will be on the card this weekend. But also, shout out to the Aces because they were dominated in the regular season by the Liberty, and to come out win the first 2 games. I mean, albeit at home, they showed a lot of championship grit, a lot of championship drive and experience winning those first 2 games. Because if you drop game 1 in that situation, your whole psyche could go the other way, and it could get bad.
Yep.
I mean, they lost to them by 40 in the regular season, so and their regular season isn't but a couple weeks ago still. So,
Right.
shout out to both sides, though, man. Obviously, now
Yeah.
I'm hoping for New York win tomorrow.
Selfishly for your pockets.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, all right. So we will go and get into. Do you have anything to say about the? Yes. Do you have anything to say about the Jada situation?
Yeah. she needs to stop talking. I don't care if it's true. I don't care who's correct. I don't care who's right. I don't care what the truth is. What are you doing? Why? Like, what? If Will Smith put his hands on you, then leave him, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
if he cheated on you, leave him. But what else could he have done to deserve you beating his back in the way she does? Like, she's
It's
a
left,
ruthless,
right.
yeah,
And before,
and not this
just,
level left
just,
right. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
it's not the popular touchdown celebration. Like, she's stomping
Uh-uh.
it.
Yes. And I remember back just thinking of just the Red Table Talk in general. Like it was a great thing. It was you get people talking about their stories, their experiences. I mean, men, women, everything. Like it was dope. Like a lot of people tuned in and watched it. And I believe it was around COVID time and it brought a lot of people together. It helped people get through certain things and all that. But now this is a whole different type of this is it's sad, man. I mean, no man wants to if you a
Let me go.
POS, if you this, if you that, or whatever, just yeah, man. But also too, like what's understood doesn't have to be explained to everybody else. Like let us have our own issues, good, bad, whatever. Who's right, who's wrong, but you don't gotta just drag my name through the mud to the world. And yeah,
And you are who you are. Like, you also don't need this to sell books. Like, you're going to sell as many books as you were going to sell because your name is Jada Pinkett Smith that you were going to sell
well,
regardless of going on these shows.
you change your name too.
Yeah, let's go
Like
back
since
to
you
calling her Jada
hate him
Pinkett.
so much, like yeah, just go back, revert back. So, all right. Now, let's go ahead. We're just going to do 5 picks because sometimes the picks do take some time. So we would just go ahead and just do 5 of the best games, if you will, prime time, and then some other games. And we would do our other ones off air. I gave my picks to Marlon on Saturday. He did not give me any picks back. But then during the games, he wanted to tell me that, oh, I'm up, I'm this, I'm that. I didn't get your picks. I didn't see them. So therefore, they didn't count.
In
So
my defense, Marlon is actually correct. I thought I sent him over to him, and I didn't. But as in weeks past, I smacked him again this weekend. So there's that.
didn't you say
He's
you were up two? Didn't you
yes,
said you were up two?
yes.
And then
You got the
I
Buffalo game. I got the Cowboy game. Do we need to rehearse or
yeah, but I
rehash
had
the
the
Cowboys
points.
game?
It was 3.5, wasn't it? I'm
No,
pretty sure I got that. Let me see. I go back and look at it right now because it was 3.5. I won, so we tied.
it was one
Oh
and
no,
a
it's
half.
1.5. Never mind. All right, I
Yeah.
thought it was three and
Mm,
a half.
uh,
All right,
mm.
all right. So Jacksonville at New Orleans. This is going to be. I think this game may actually turn out to be pretty decent. You down in the boot. Um, I like New Orleans is -1.5 on this one. I think New Orleans is going to win this one outright. Um, let me see what the over and under
You said,
is.
wait, you said I think they're going to win it outright. Their favorites to win it outright. They had to win by at least 2.
Yeah,
So you're picking them -1.5.
yeah. Well, I'm picking New Orleans.
Okay. Pick Jacksonville. I think you still have some hate in your heart for them. Cedric, what's up,
I
bro?
got him in my I got
He
him in my
said
top 10.
Jada's bag chasing, trying to stay relevant. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And I was reminded today, listening to another podcast, that she wasn't Jada until she really got with Will. Like, she was doing maps and she was doing like Set It Off was dope. But she didn't really,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? She wasn't really her till she got with Will. So absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So I have Saints. So I got the same over and under on that one is 39. I like the under on that one.
Excuse me, sorry about that.
Oh my lord, you got a mute button
Oh, I didn't see it.
just in case you didn't know, like a cough button, like right there at the
Okay.
bottom.
Right side.
Over and under 39.
You taking the over?
I got the under.
Now we can go through some of these other picks, hopefully a little bit quicker than that game. Um,
Yep. Ravens at Lions. Make sure it's no. I take that back.
They're in
This
Baltimore.
is okay.
-3.5
Detroit.
Baltimore.
Detroit. I like on this one. I like. I'm gonna go Baltimore on this one.
I'm taking Detroit +3.5.
Yeah, I don't feel good about taking Baltimore, but I'm
It's
gonna take
crazy
them.
because you just said they were better than us. So I thought you had more faith in the Lions than that. But I like the pick because it
I
helps me
do.
win. Let's see where else we gonna go next.
Oh, this will be fun. Chiefs, Chargers at Chiefs. Spreads 5.5.
Who cares if the spread was 10.5?
We it should be. I'm gonna go ahead and take us with the points. I think we'll keep it close. We don't win though.
No, I know. I'm taking the Chiefs plus -6, 7, 8, 9, whatever the number is. Are we going? And then let's go. Let's also do Philly and Miami.
Yep, that was my next one.
My
Then we'll do the Monday night.
Miami at Philly.
Yeah, what you got on that one?
Miami at Philly. I have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I would really like to see this +3.5 because I think either one wins. I'm picking Miami. Let me stop explaining myself. Miami.
Mm-hmm. I got
I
Miami
think
too
it's.
as well on that one. And then the Monday night game, San Fran at Minnesota. I like Minnesota getting the 7.5.
I think this is a no-brainer if I know that Christian McCaffrey or Debo Samuels is playing,
Mm-hmm.
but
That's
not
the
knowing. Actually, I'm taking San Francisco. And then the over/under for that game is I got 44.
I like the over on that one.
I'll go under.
Okay. Cool. Other than that, I will send you the rest of the picks. I will get my first win this week. I can feel it. Pause. Um, other than that, man, you got anything else?
No, man, sorry, I'm just checking on my son. He said the volleyball game just ended, so it's perfect time.
Yeah, I think that's about it. We'll see what. Yeah, that's all I got.
But that's it. Hey, man, shout out to them boys. We still them boys. We been them boys.
Oh my God.
I just love that Marquise, all my friends on Facebook. Shout out to all the Charger fans out there. Um, and shout out to all the Eagles and 49er fans also that were hoping that we lost this game since I was talking so much trash on Saturday. Shout out to all y'all, man. Y'all see the hat. I see the shirt. Big Shador.
We done.
I want to see the Ultra. Big Shador.
We done.
Oh, yeah. I'm all done. When ready when
All
you are.
right.
Hey, cheers again, bro.
We'll
Just
catch up.
for the road.
Got my yeah, man. All right. So we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.
We out.
You can go stop Facebook.